What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It was a very exciting weekend in the Premier League, although not super exciting if you're an Arsenal fan. You're probably fuming right now, as I am. Shut up. Stop it. But now I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyway, not happy at the moment. Arsenal lost their first game of the season.
In the league, bro.
In the league. We've lost other games too.
Yeah.
Thank you for the reminder.
Yes.
Sitting 12th in the Premier League.
Thank you.
But we're talking about that game and more stuff. This is What the Football, and that's exactly how I feel right now.
This is what the football does.
Let's start with maybe one of the biggest news from last week. The GOAT, as he is considered, the Argentinian magician,
Yes.
Lionel Messi, wins his 8th Ballon d'Or.
Number 8, bro.
Is that how you say it? Ballon d'Or? How do you say it?
Yeah, I think you're correct. Ballon d'Or. Yeah.
Is it French?
It is, yeah.
What does it mean?
I'm not sure. Not sure.
You're French speaking. You should know that.
No, I am not French speaking.
You're not?
No, I'm not.
Why did I think that?
I have no idea.
Okay,
maybe
never
because of the way I pronounce some words.
I
Some
feel
people
like you
actually say
told
that.
me.
Some people actually think I'm
No, but I
French
feel like
speaking.
you told me I speak some sort of French.
Maybe like 1-2 words, like bonjour, pardon, those kind of stuff.
That cannot be.
That's
Really?
That's it, bro.
I don't know
That's it.
who. Okay,
That's
whatever.
it. Maybe
Anyway,
you're just confusing
I'm
me with
confusing
somebody
with
else.
somebody,
Yeah.
but for some reason that's what I thought. Anyway, because you helped me learn Ligue 1 and how to
there
say
you
it.
go. Oh.
So I guess I assumed from that you are. How do they say?
I know those things because of football. That's what.
The same.
Yeah.
But anytime I speak to somebody and they tell me they're from the UK, then I go through a bunch of names. They're like, "Oh, you know a lot about the UK." I'm like, "No, I just know football." So I know where Chelsea is and Arsenal is and Spurs and United and City and Liverpool.
I guess football helps you with geography
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit, like Swansea,
and lifestyle. Yes,
were in the Premier League a few years ago.
Yeah.
And find out they're in Wales.
Yeah, they Welsh.
It's anyway.
Yeah, it is what it is. Well,
Messi,
yes,
Ballon
Messi,
d'Or.
8 Ballon d'Or. You call him the GOAT. I don't know if I call him the GOAT, but that's because I don't call anybody the GOAT. But that's a discussion for another day. But definitely, you can't deny greatness.
Oh, sure.
You cannot deny greatness. I think he's possibly the best of his generation. But I won't say he's the GOAT. But, bro, to win that 8 times, that's beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. So I think in the rankings, he was first.
Yes.
Holland was second.
Okay.
Kylian was third. By Kylian, I mean Mbappe. Mbappe was third.
You're on nickname basis now.
Yeah, I call people the names that I can easily remember them with. I call him Kylian sometimes. In PSG, there was a time he was called Donatello. From Ninja Turtles.
No.
I don't want to call him Donatello.
No,
so I just call him Kylian.
Yes, that's
So Mbappe was third. But I think many people had issues with it. They kept saying no, Messi didn't deserve to win it this time. He should have been in Holland because of the treble. And because he scored like 50 goals last season.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, the people who voted felt Messi should have won it. And he did. Now, nothing against Holland. I think he won the best striker award.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So, but the people who felt he should have won it felt because of the treble and the 50-odd goals he got this season.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So the thing is, Emi Martinez won the best goalkeeper award. Did he win that because Aston Villa were doing well in the Premier League?
No.
But nobody seems to have an issue with that.
Yeah. But they have an issue with
Messi winning. Yeah. So he definitely won that because of his performance at the World Cup.
Yeah.
You remember his save from, I think, Kolomoani or so in the dying seconds of the game
Yeah,
with his
that's-
leg outstretched and all. That was, some people say that's a save that changed football. Because if that save didn't happen, Messi wouldn't have won the World Cup.
Yeah.
And if Messi did not win the World Cup, Messi wouldn't have won the Ballon d'Or.
So Emi Martinez should win the Ballon d'Or?
No.
I'm just very confused with
No.
this.
So the idea is, if the World Cup is not that important, why is Emi the best goalkeeper in the world? Why not Ederson?
Oh, okay. I see your argument
Because
now.
Ederson
Yeah,
also
that
won
makes
the
sense.
treble
Yeah,
with
yeah.
City.
Yeah.
Uh,
Who votes? Who votes these? Is it all the players?
I think captains and I might be wrong, but I think it's captains, coaches, and some journalists.
Okay.
But not all the players. All the players can't vote.
Okay.
So captains, coaches, journalists. I think so.
Okay.
I hope I'm not wrong, but I think so. Something like that.
Okay.
So Messi actually was won with about 100 points. He had about 400 and something points. I think Holland had about 300 and something points. So I think, let me ask you a question.
Sorry, I need to ask you a question because
Yes,
this is gonna
go
slip
ahead.
my mind.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you just said, you won't. You said you call him the goat. I won't call him the goat.
Mhm.
What does that mean?
Personally, I don't believe that I have enough information to choose the greatest of all time.
Okay.
And that is for me as a person. So I'm not saying people cannot have their own goats. You can go ahead.
Okay.
So I didn't get to see some players live. By live, not like in the stadium, but like watch football
Play.
in that era.
Yes. Yes.
Understood what football was all about in that era.
Yep.
Now, many people talk about how far sports science has gone, how far training has gone better, and even the recovery from injuries and all of that. I don't know how that was when Pelé was playing.
True. Yeah.
Now, did I see Pelé play live? No, but I've seen clips, I've seen highlights, I've seen videos and all of that.
Yeah.
So what I prefer to do is speak about the best of a certain generation.
Yeah.
So I think Messi is the best of his generation.
Okay.
But is he the greatest of all time? I can't say.
Okay.
And that's my personal opinion. That's the way. So when people ask me, who do you think is the GOAT? I say, I don't know.
And that's fair. I think that's
I say, I don't know.
Because at times it feels like there's too many players to choose from. But also, as you've said many times before, football is a team sport.
It is a team sport.
You know?
And I always say, thank you for reminding me. I forgot that. I actually forgot that. Football is a team sport.
Right? And so, but I think to me, in my mind, I guess we didn't plan this conversation, but this is a good conversation to like maybe talk about, because the GOAT, or the idea of the GOAT, the greatest of all time, seems to be a collective idea. You know, like there's groups of people who believe Messi's the greatest of all time. There's groups of people who have other players, you know, that they support. A lot of people still think Ronaldo is, you know, and there's big Ronaldo
Some people
support,
put him in the conversation,
you know?
yes.
And so I think for me, the question is, what's the criteria
question.
You know,
that
we use to consider somebody the greatest of all time?
Yeah.
Is it the awards they get?
Yep.
Is it
the trophies,
the trophies they win?
Is it the goals they score?
We just saw, with shout out to Marcelo, by the way, like how many trophies is it now? Like 13? How many is it? 30? 30? 30.
Marcelo.
Brazil, yeah. 30 trophies. Like one of the most decorated players, man. Like
I can think of a few people who have more, but
okay.
Yeah. So Dani Alves has more.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Dani Alves has like 41 or 40 now.
Oh my god. Okay. Anyway,
Lionel Messi has 42 now, or 43. So,
but
yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
is that a criteria?
Yeah. Is that a criteria? Is it the goals they score?
Yeah, that's a good question, because Marcelo, I've never heard of someone talk about the greatest of all time and mention Marcelo. No, but he already has 30 trophies.
Yeah.
So if it's trophies, should he be there? That's a good question. I get the ideology.
And so I'm just curious, like, how do we determine that somebody is the greatest of all time? You know, in football.
Yeah.
You know, and also, why is it that we single out individuals? Because if we single out individuals, more than likely they're strikers or forwards
Possibly,
or
Possibly.
big goal scorers.
Yeah, but we can't deny that it's goals that win you games.
Yes.
So we can't
absolutely.
deny that. The guys who get you goals are supposedly the guys who have the spotlight.
Mhm.
Because football, you win a football game when you get a goal. If the two teams do not score, it's a draw.
Yes.
But the thing is, if you have a goal scorer who gets you 4 goals a game,
Mhm.
but you have defenders who are a mess and you concede 5 goals in that game, you still lose. So while the striker could go, I now have 4 goals, my team has no point.
Mhm.
So that's one of the things that I think of when I think of this Ballon d'Or thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I have nothing against the award. But I keep saying football is a team sport. Football. So like in the ceremony, Manchester City won Team of the Year. Great. Shout
Yeah.
out to them. They
Yeah.
won 3 trebles.
Makes sense,
Not
yeah.
3 trebles, 3 trophies.
Yeah.
I hope they don't win 3 trebles. That would just be sad for the Premier League. Everybody just be watching them lifting everything. Yeah, so, but they won the treble or not. So Team of the Year, that's fine.
Sure.
But I think to win it 8 times, you have to be special. Now, many people can have their issues with if he should have won it or not. But the fact is that he has always put himself in that discussion.
Yes.
So if he didn't win the World Cup, I don't think he would be in that top 3.
True.
I think he's there because I still believe the World Cup is the biggest sports event in the world. You win it once, and I think you're made for life.
Yeah, and Pele won it how many times? Like
I think 3 times.
3 times. Yeah.
So the thing is, then also if you miss out on it, you wait 4 years for the next one. It's not like the UCL where you win. If you don't win this season, you can go again next season and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
If you miss out on the World Cup, you wait 4 years. So by the time you're playing the next one, you're 4 years older.
Which he would be what, 37, 38?
I think right now he's 36. So by the next World Cup, he should be
40.
No, the World Cup was last year. So he should be like 39, 38, 39.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, you cannot deny he had an awesome World Cup.
He did. He really did. He scored in the final too, right? Yeah.
So I think Keely had the golden boot. He had the next. He had the silver, but he had the golden ball. He had the most assists.
Yeah.
He had the most chances created.
Yeah.
The guy is an animal.
Yeah.
He's a football animal.
I mean, he's a human being, but yes.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah. You get the check, bro. You get the check. So he had a great tournament. He was...
Yeah, he did.
He's not a young player anymore. But I think he was desperate. He wanted that trophy. Yeah. And he said that was the only trophy that he hadn't won.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
To do it, because many people were saying he will never be greater than Maradona if he doesn't win the world. He's done it.
So
he's done it.
He is greater than Maradona then?
I think in the eyes of many people, he has done what Maradona did, which is give them a World Cup.
Okay.
He's giving them a World Cup.
Okay.
So
I guess it matters more about Argentina than anybody else. You know, it doesn't matter really what I say or what you say. Like Argentinian people are happy.
They love him.
If they say he's the GOAT, then
who are you?
Yeah.
He's won it 8 times. The closest person is Cristiano, 5.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, when he won the first one, I can't remember how old he was, but he's won the first one. Ronaldo has won about 5. Modric has won. Benzema has won. And he's now won 8. So to see how long a career he has had at the top, nah. If you see greatness, it's hard to deny it. Really hard to deny it.
That's good. That's a good way to put it. And I think that's where we can kind of leave that one.
Yeah,
so shout out Messi. Congratulations. 8 Ballon d'Ors. Well done.
It should be his final one, though.
It will be his final one, I think. Like, I mean, he's no disrespect, but he's playing for Inter Miami.
Yeah, he's in Inter Miami now.
And like, well,
I don't think he would have ever won it even if he won the league with the MLS with Inter Miami.
No,
he won it because of the FIFA World Cup.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So right
because
now,
the next was Holland. So if he had lost it was going to Holland. Then.
Straight up to Holland.
Which he's probably gonna get it.
But some people actually go the whole. Julian Alvarez won the treble, just like Haaland did, but also won the World Cup with Argentina.
Interesting point.
So why is he not in the top 3?
Well, did he score a lot of goals for
Argentina? He didn't score 50-something goals.
Yes.
But he won the treble.
He did.
And he won the World Cup.
He did. But
So that's another dynamic to think about it. But as you say, let's move on. Let's move on.
Anyway,
Let's move on.
what else we got? Carabao Cup.
Oh wow. What a
let
week.
me go first. Well,
Please,
actually, no.
Please, you go first.
No. Actually, you should go first because I didn't watch any of the games. I went to bed. I woke up to see the news. I was like, oh, great. And honestly, I had a feeling. I was like, maybe we'll lose this game. And maybe this will be a good thing. And sure enough, we lose 3-1 to West Ham.
Is it a good thing now? Now that you've lost, is it a good thing?
I mean, it's one less tournament to worry about.
Okay.
I mean, I think for Arsenal, being real with you, I think my focus is that we do well in the league and the Champions League, then lift, a Carabao Cup trophy. Like it wouldn't have been horrible if we did lift, a trophy like that. I'm totally fine with that. But I would rather prefer Arsenal do better in the Premier League and the Champions League. But anyway, that's a different conversation. But give us the lowdown, the recap.
So let me try to summarize it. You guys went to the London Stadium.
Yes.
Somebody, I think I saw something online that it was like the Gunners have been hammered.
That's a good one. That's actually a good one.
So it was a choice between the Guns and the Hammers. The Hammers won. But it was I think it was a cool game. I don't think you guys played too well.
Yeah.
First goal, own goal, Ben White.
Yeah.
Second goal, Mohamed Kudus. Oh, great goal.
Okay.
Great goal. To bring the ball down when he got the pass and to just get it in. Third goal, I think, was kind of a deflection, Jared Bowen. Then Odegaard got like a consolation. What's wrong with Odegaard, though?
He's injured.
He's
injured. Hip injury, apparently.
Makes sense.
To be honest with you, I still don't know the full details.
Okay. Because he didn't play the Newcastle game.
No, which we'll get to in a bit. But please continue.
So I don't think there's much. I don't say so much about that game as regards happenings in the game. I want to talk about the repercussions of that.
Okay.
But first off, though, so Declan Rice back at the London Stadium.
Yeah.
After his £105 million move.
Did he get a good welcome?
So while he was kind of like warming up on the sidelines,
people were
one-time captain, lifted the Europa Conference League, so they clapped for him. But then I think Arteta puts him in the game, and they boo him every time he kicks the ball.
That makes sense.
So they clap for him while he's out the pitch. When he goes on the pitch, they're like, "Oh no, you left us, bro." Yeah. But for that, when I talk about repercussions, I mean. I think on this same show, we've spoken about the whole Raya Ramsdale thing. And one of the things I said was, I hope you guys continue in these cup competitions so that Ramsdale can feel like at least he's getting some game time.
Yeah.
It might not be the game time he wants by quantity or quality. Because in the UCL, you play the big boys. You guys were in Sevilla. And you play against a team as strong as Sevilla, where it's not so easy to go to the what's the name of the stadium again? Sanchez Pizjuán.
Okay.
But now that you've been knocked out of the Carabao Cup, what does that mean for Ramsdale in the sense that there's no Carabao Cup for him to have?
Yes.
Some games here and there.
Yeah.
Now I know the FA Cup is still there.
Yeah.
But if what has happened to you guys now, if you guys get knocked out of the FA Cup again, what happens to him? Does he push for a transfer? Or does he get his head down and go, I can fight for the shirt from David?
Honestly, the only person who can answer that question is Aaron Ramsdale himself. like none of us. Because I have all those questions in my mind. I have all those questions. I'm personally really frustrated with this situation because I feel like we invited a stupid situation to begin with. I probably need to do a bit more research, but from just watching the games I'm watching, I am not sure how Raya is really making that much of a difference than Ramsdale. Like, I don't think there's that much of a difference with him being in goal versus Ramsdale. So I just wonder, let's say we get to the new year, FA Cup comes in, we get knocked out, then at that point it's just like he's just on the bench,
He
because
prays that David gets an injury or something.
I mean that's cruel, but sure.
But maybe I shouldn't have used the word pray. Maybe hope. I guess I don't know.
Doesn't make it better. But you know what I mean? Like I feel like if I'm Ramsdale, I'm looking at the situation going, I'm a starter. I'm starter material.
To be a starter.
No. He's just because he's not starting games doesn't mean like freaking Matt Turner left to go to Nottingham Forest to start games.
Okay.
I don't think Matt Turner is any better than Aaron Ramsdale. No disrespect to Matt Turner, by the way, love the guy, but I don't think he's any better than Ramsdale. So I look at Ramsdale and I go, bro, leave. Like, it's okay. Like, leave. Like, for what he did last season for Arsenal, for how he performed, for the vibes that he brought, like, and this is not just about vibes, but the vibes that he brought, like the energy that he brought.
Yeah.
I think he deserves that. He deserves to start. He deserves to play regularly. I think it was clear what Mikel was trying to do with bringing in Raya, but I think that does sour things a little bit. And so, like, I just wonder, like, Ramsdale
goes...
the
word sour. That just sours this a little bit. That's just funny in my head. I'm sorry.
Why is that funny?
I can't explain it. It's just... context is different. That's never mind. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now I forget what I was gonna say. Anyway, like that's a whole other situation. But like I told you before, like I didn't want to talk about this because I'm so frustrated with this. I'm sick of talking about it because I'm like, we can talk all we want, but it seems to be clear at this point that Raya is number one.
Yeah.
And Ramsdale is number two.
Yeah.
It's not something I like, honestly, because I'm not seeing that much of a difference. I'm not seeing David Raya make Arsenal any better than what Ramsdale was already doing. I don't see that.
Makes sense.
Now, it could be that I need to do some research.
Possibly.
And see that, but I don't know.
There might be some stats to back it up or some whatever. But I did notice that in the game against Newcastle, he cleared the ball much more. So in previous games, sometimes the ball would get to him. He would stop, look around, who to pass to. In that game, I noticed at some point when the ball comes to him, he just takes it out, kicks it out. I think he's more conscious of the danger he poses on himself and the team when he holds onto the ball for too long, especially against teams that press you.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Let's move on.
Oh, can I say one last thing?
Go ahead. Your team.
I felt for Ramsdale with this loss, probably more than anybody else, or the fact that we got knocked out of the Carabao Cup, because I'm like, he hasn't started that many games.
No, he hasn't.
And one of the only competitions he's playing in
is the Carabao Cup.
He's knocked out, and he suffers 3 goals, one of them being an own goal.
Yes.
And so that
doesn't help him.
That doesn't help him. And that's why I felt for him, because I'm like, that doesn't help his confidence.
3 goals conceded doesn't help him, because I don't think David has conceded 3 goals yet. I might be wrong, but I don't think he has yet.
Yeah.
So I think that doesn't help him.
I just, I feel for him because of that, because I'm like, this doesn't help his confidence.
No.
But also like, it's not him to blame, I feel like, at least. I may need to watch the highlights again because I forget.
You lose as a team, you win as a team.
That's it, yeah.
Andrea Onana said. You lose as a team, you win as a team.
Anyway.
The other big game, I think, was United at home against Newcastle.
Oh, yes.
In the Carabao Cup.
Oh, yes.
This was few days after losing 3-0 at home.
Yes.
To City.
Yes.
In a game where City toyed with them.
Yes.
And I think they had the opportunity come the midweek to redeem themselves in some way, get some prestige back. Ten Hag decided to bench some of the big hitters.
Mm-hmm.
So Bruno was on the bench, Rashford was on the bench, Højlund was on the bench.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but he played a pretty strong side. So Casemiro was on.
Okay.
Casemiro played. Maguire Evans, I think, played. I think Reguilon played, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
He had guys on the pitch. I think it was Mason Mount or Amrabat. One of them came on halftime, if I'm not mistaken. But the team he had martial arts. I mean, Anthony Martial. I say martial arts sometimes. I have funny names for players. I'm sorry, man. So martial arts was there. He just had some. I think Anthony was also on the pitch, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So he had good guys on the pitch.
Okay.
And Eddie Howe started literally a B team.
Yeah.
So there was no Nick Pope. It was Dubravka who played. There was no Fabian Schär. Botman is still not back from his injury. There was no Dan Burn, no Lascelles. Even Trippier didn't start. So the back four and the goalkeeper was a totally new one. So this season, I don't think they've played together.
Okay.
Emil Kraft, Dummett, Livramento. Those are the guys he started. Started Lewis Hall, the young kid from Chelsea. I think Joe Willock, because he's just coming back from injury.
Yeah,
Give him some time. Matt Ritchie, those kind of guys. And it felt like they were playing against Manchester United's D team. They were killing United at Old Trafford. My guy, this was with the B team.
Yeah.
Onana was in goal. I think by halftime it was 2-0. Before the halftime whistle was gone, the Newcastle fans were already olaying in Old Trafford. Bro, it was just sad.
That's brutal.
It was just sad.
That's brutal. And what was they're singing later on as well?
They were singing "Sacked in the Morning."
Man.
You're getting sacked in the morning for Ten Hag at Old Trafford before halftime.
Wow.
So now he wasn't sacked the next morning, as we know, because he was still there in the Fulham game.
Yeah.
But it just shows how it used to be. I don't know if they should still call it the Theatre of Dreams.
Oh wow.
I don't know if they should still call it that.
Oh my gosh.
They should call it something else.
What would they call it?
I have no idea, but maybe it should be the Theatre of Dreams for the away fans, not the home fans.
That's too long.
Bro, I can't. Maybe Theatre of Nightmares. Replace dreams with nightmares or something. Bro, it feels like everybody goes to Old Trafford to have fun.
I guess right now, probably United fans are living their worst nightmare of where the club is and how it's doing,
bro,
and everything.
But the funny thing is, they have this few games where it feels like they're on a high.
True.
And they just
when it feels like they get a result, it's like, it's getting better. Yeah.
It's just, oh man, it was so sad.
Yeah, that's
so sad. The game ended 3-0. Now in the second half, the big boys coming. Fernandes is in. Højlund is in. Rashford is in. I guarantee you, that game could have gone on for another 20 minutes. And if any team was going to score, it was Newcastle.
Wow.
It was that bad.
Dang.
That game could have gone on for another 20 minutes. And if any team would score, it was not United.
That's crazy.
And this is after Rashford had come on. Højlund had come on. Fernandes had come on. So they had the big boys there. If any team was still going to score, it was not. It was the other United. Because they are both Manchester United and Newcastle United.
Maybe they should be now United.
I don't know, bro. I really don't. It was just, I think it was sad to see.
It is sad, yeah.
It was sad because the team they played was not Newcastle's best team.
Yeah.
Guimaraes didn't start. Wilson didn't start.
Yeah.
Trippier didn't start. Even Pope didn't start. It was...
Well, that's Manchester United, but I guess it's also worth putting a little bit of respect on Newcastle United, because they're developing and it's showing. It's been showing for the last few seasons.
It's hard
since Eddie Howe took over.
It's hard to deny. Shout out to them.
And the new ownership as well.
Shout out to
and
them.
So you're seeing development, and now this is kind of like another phase of it or another level of it where you're seeing the younger players or the reserves or whatever you want to call them. I don't know what to call them, but like those players are also doing well. So
they're having fun.
Yeah.
At least in that game, they did have fun.
Yeah.
But let's move on. Let's
Yeah,
move
yeah.
on. We could stay there for a while.
But
We could
yeah,
stay
that's
there for a while.
the.
Let's talk some other things.
I guess that's the Carabao Cup. Speaking of cups,
Yeah.
in Germany,
Oh, the DFB Pokal.
yes,
Yeah. I think it was also midweek.
yes,
So Dortmund won 1-0 against, I can't remember what club, Hoffenheim or so. Am I wrong?
okay,
But I think the big news coming from Germany for DFB Pokal was Bayern Munich, bro.
yes.
Bayern Munich losing to Bundesliga 3 side.
How does that even happen?
I don't know. I really
Did they
don't.
not play like their better players, or like even if
I don't
feel
think
like
Kane played that game. So I
Okay.
think maybe he might have played Muller. I know Muller played that game. Thomas Muller was in that game.
he's still there?
Yeah, he is.
Wow.
I think he's on his final year in his contract now.
Okay.
There are still talks of should he be given another contract or stuff.
Okay.
Even Neuer is back from his long time injury.
He's still there.
Yeah, Neuer's still there. He actually started the game over the weekend against Dortmund.
Oh wow.
Neuer is there. He's back.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Harry Kane though.
I don't know if he played that game.
Well, it doesn't matter because
So it doesn't matter.
because he left Spurs to go to
To Munich.
Bayern Munich
Yeah. To
win trophies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what's the stage we're at now? He's lost 2 out of possibly 4 trophies.
Yeah. So at the start of the season, Bayern could have won 4 trophies.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is something like the German Super Cup.
Yes. Oh yeah, they lost that one.
They lost that 3-0 to Leipzig.
Oh man.
I think in that game, Dani Olmo got a hat-trick.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And that was Kane's first game. So I think he came on in the second half or
Oof.
something.
Yeah.
They lost that. DFB Pokal, now they've been knocked out by Bundesliga 3 side. So the only trophies left. So out of a possible 4,
Yes.
Bayern Munich have only 2 left to fight for. The Bundesliga and the Champions League. Right now in the Bundesliga, they're second. Xabi Alonso and his boys in, what's it called?
Leverkusen.
Thank you. Are having so much fun. They're top of the table.
Yeah.
In the Champions League, though, Bayern are doing well. I think they're top of the group.
Mm-hmm.
But your former boss, Arsene Wenger, doesn't think they are favorites for the Champions League.
Bayern Munich?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He doesn't think Bayern are favorites for the Champions League. So
If he says that, I believe him.
he's le professeur.
That's true.
He's le professeur.
See, again, the French. See, that's
Ah.
You just keep deceiving me. Keep deceiving me.
So let's see. Is it a Kane curse?
Yeah, that's such a bad term, but yeah, that is a good question because the poor man leaves to go to Bayern Munich thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be easy trophies," and then he gets knocked out of two of them, and it's let's see what happens. But
let's see. Many people
quite
believe.
sad.
Many people believe like the Bundesliga is their birthright. By birthright, I mean they will still win it anyway. Like you could see Dortmund push them last season, and it was sad to see the way Dortmund lost it on the last game of the season. But people still feel like, oh, it's the Bundesliga, it's Bayern Munich, they're still winning. But let's see if Xabi Alonso and his boys can.
That'd be amazing. That'd be good to see, somebody else winning. So
yeah, so that's Kane and
his curse.
Well, I didn't say that. You did.
Hey, I mean, even if he wins one of them, that's more than what he won with Tottenham. So,
Ooh.
I'm just saying. Is that not facts? That's facts, right?
Yes, sir. It is. It is.
Sometimes
facts.
the truth hurts.
It's all right. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Anyway.
I think we can talk Premier League now.
Yes. Speaking of the truth hurts.
What team do we start with? Or what game do we start with?
I think we just ripped the Band-Aid.
Newcastle Arsenal.
Yeah.
Okay. You're the Arsenal guy.
Let me go for it.
Talk to us, yeah.
First things first.
Yes.
Credit to Newcastle. Newcastle are top side.
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing to say about their performance
Yes.
other than the fact that they defended really well.
Yes.
They had a game plan. They played their game. They were at home, so obviously they had that going for them.
Yes.
Um, credit to the manager, classy manager, good team. Um, he said this after the game, and I think I agree with him that neither team were up to the fluidity that they usually have, which I
Mhm.
completely agree with. Because going into that game, I knew okay, Newcastle, they can be a threat. They got
Mhm.
some good players up front. They just have a solid team all around.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting an easy game.
Okay.
And then before that game, anyway, sorry. Let me end that by saying Newcastle, credit to them. Um, I'm happy we lost to them
Mhm.
rather than Chelsea
Ah, come
a
on.
few weeks ago.
Come on.
That would have just been like
Come on. If there was any
I
team
have
that
to say
deserved to
that.
win you guys between Newcastle and Chelsea, it was Chelsea.
That's a different conversation. For me,
bro. Aye, aye, aye.
this one stings because we played well, we played decent.
Did you play well?
Well,
Well, yeah, you guys, yeah, it was fine.
You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we
yeah.
played decent. Let me say
Yeah, you
this.
guys, you did well actually.
You know,
You did well, yeah.
and to hold off, you know, I think the guys who defended really well against Newcastle.
Mhm.
I think they only had the one shot on target, and that was the goal.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Which
I
we'll
think
get
so.
to in a minute.
Yeah.
But I think we played decent.
Yeah.
We didn't play that well with against Chelsea,
Possibly.
you know.
Possibly.
And so for me, I would have looked at that game and gone, "Oh, we just didn't play well," you know.
Mhm.
And there would be this kind of sense of like maybe overconfidence.
Mhm.
But with this, it goes, guys. These are the levels.
Mhm.
These are the levels we got to play with,
Mhm.
you know. And so I hope that everybody on the team looks at that and goes, "That we were this close. These are the margins. We
You
maybe
were
they're
that close to a draw.
to a draw, yeah."
Okay.
And I mean, close to a draw, but also like had we done what we needed to do in terms of creativity and our own final third, we could have made something happen.
Possibly.
Because Newcastle weren't their full fluid self the way that they are. They have a
Yeah.
strong defense.
They have a lot of, I think they have a few players out.
Yeah.
And when he took off Wilson, I'm like, what's he doing?
Yeah, and he put on Murphy, and then Murphy
And then
went out with a
Murphy
shoulder
dislocated-
thing.
Yeah.
Which
I
was
know
really
that.
sad. Like
So when-
it was
Yeah,
really
it was
actually sad to
It was
see
sad.
that. Like he literally, you could the
Yeah.
body language and everything.
But even Dan Bunn,
Oh,
Dan Bunn actually left at halftime.
dude, that was
And that was when I think he jumped up for a header or something.
and he landed on his
landed
back
really
really
awkwardly,
badly.
yeah.
Actually, yeah.
I think he was struggling. They gave him some painkillers. He was trying to keep up, but I think halftime he leaves.
Okay, I was really frustrated with that because due to that, he made a few really like stupid challenges that I'm like, guys, just take him off. Like he's just doing stupid things at this point.
I think the whole idea is they were trying to just keep him on till halftime.
Yeah, that was clear that they wanted to
That's
do
all.
that. But I'm just like, he's gonna.
He was actually struggling.
He was struggling, and I was
really
like,
struggling.
dude, he's gonna break Saka. Like he kept knocking him, and I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
like
it was-
just
he was-
anyway.
he was
Okay, so
clear.
that was Newcastle.
Yeah.
That's credit to Newcastle. You know, that's our first loss in the Premier League of the season, and it's to a team that's a top side. That's credit to them. Now, the goal.
Okay.
The goal has been heavily debated.
I think it will continue to be heavily.
It'll continue to be
It's
heavily
one of those
debated.
very controversial stuff.
That's what people are saying. And I was actually it was interesting to hear that. But I think what was interesting for me was that you got 3 and possibly 4 reasons
Mhm.
why this is, you know, probably not a goal that should stand.
Okay.
And so what I'm curious is like, what were the checks? What was the criteria that they were checking? Because one of them was a possible handball. by Joe Linton.
But VAR didn't check for a possible handball.
They checked for a bunch of things.
So they checked for ball out of play.
There was ball out of play,
They checked for
foul on Gabriel,
and then they checked for offside.
offside.
So VAR didn't check for possible handball,
I know, but that was one of the things
which I
that
think
was
they
there.
should have.
You know, so it's
But
4.
they didn't check for that.
Right. Now, the thing is, what I don't know is like, number one, they never showed any lines or anything for the ball going outside. And
They never show lines for the ball going outside.
or maybe that's the Champions League that they do that
They
sometimes.
never do.
Anyway, never mind. But there should be something where you can determine, okay, was the ball out of play?
Mm.
At least from the naked eye, it clearly you could see, okay, it was possibly outside. Okay, whatever. You can say that. But
Well, first of all, what's the rule? The rule is
it has to be all of the ball. And we don't know that.
Yeah, must
We
be
don't know
over
that.
all of the line.
Yeah, but we don't know that. We don't
But
know that.
Where the what do you call that stuff? The whole freeze frame stuff. So
Yeah.
where the ball is stopped before Willock gets it back in. Now, definitely most of the ball is out. But it's because the idea is even if the circumference,
I know all of
is there.
that. I
So
know
that's
all of
the
that.
thing.
So that's how do we prove that?
We don't know.
Yeah, so that's one thing. Okay?
Yeah, that's one thing.
That's
So
one thing.
Should we call that inconclusive?
That is inconclusive, yeah. So that's one thing. Okay. The other thing is
I don't know. Well, they checked that and they didn't cancel the goal because of that. So
Yeah.
it means whoever is on the VAR booth felt like, okay, we are satisfied with that.
yeah,
To the next one.
yeah. Which I don't understand how. But anyway.
Makes sense.
So
So the next one they checked was the foul.
yeah, and that was a funny one to me.
Mhm.
Did you think that was a foul?
I felt like Gabriel was trying to make the most of it.
Okay.
Now is what's his name? Joe
Joe
Linton.
Linton.
Is Joe Linton's arms outstretched? Yes.
Ye-
But one of the things I looked at in the very many replays
Yes.
was what's the word? The trajectory of Gabriel's dive.
Okay.
And I looked at it and I'm like, oh, this is a professional defender trying to fly when he's just been touched.
Okay.
Does that make it not a foul? I don't know.
Okay.
But I know for certain Gabriel's reaction was exaggerated.
Sure.
That's all I would say.
Okay.
As I said, does that make it not a foul? I don't know.
Okay.
That's my comment on the foul.
Okay. Let's flip the players.
Okay.
It's Gabriel
Mhm.
instead of Joe Linton and Joe Linton instead of Gabriel.
Mhm.
Gabriel. Is that a penalty?
No.
It's not a penalty?
No.
How?
It's not a penalty.
How?
Because it's not a penalty.
Because
Because that's so minimal contact. It shouldn't be a penalty. So if you notice in the the box,
are both players not going for the ball and is
Mhm.
there not like a shove?
I don't think it should be a penalty.
Okay.
That same scenario that I saw, if that happened
Yes.
and a penalty was given against Gabriel, would you have liked it? Wouldn't you have said it was very soft?
No, because
Be
it
honest.
seemed like
I
a
think
push.
I would have said it was soft.
I felt like it was
would
a
be
push.
so soft.
Well, I mean, it's a
Too
push.
soft.
It's a push.
Now I'm not saying there was, as you heard me say, I'm not saying there was no contact.
Yes.
All I'm saying is Gabriel's the way he was. I'm like, that's too much.
Well,
bro.
we know how many soft penalties get given. So
I think we're going to talk about one of them later today.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah, that
for me though, I still believe that if I was the ref
Yeah.
and that was to switch, if that was Gabriel and Joe Linton, I wouldn't give a penalty.
Okay.
I would not. Now we see that happen most of the time. The ones that are given
Yep.
is when the defender is not even looking at the ball
Yeah.
and he's like what's his name? The one that happened to Rodri with Højlund
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Manchester derby.
Yeah.
So Rodri's trying to make a run. Højlund has him in his
Yep.
arms. That's different.
Yeah.
You are not letting the guy make a run. You're not even your aim is stop this guy.
Yeah.
That's different.
And
But in this one, if I was the ref, I would not give a penalty.
okay, I would have given it
But that's
because I felt like you're kind of like you're basically shoving a player out of the
Yeah.
way and going like, hey, I'm gonna go. Which sometimes there's different ways that you get away with that,
Yeah.
and that's different. Like if you're, kind of like
the funny thing though is
climbing
I
up
don't
to
think Joe
jump
Linton
high.
won the header because he didn't head the
no,
ball
because it
towards
hit
goal.
his hand. And that was another thing.
I think that's the what's the word? To me, I think that's the biggest issue. So if I was to cancel the goal, the handball, definitely.
Yeah, because it didn't
So
even hit his
if
head.
it touches his hand
Mm-hmm.
and it leads to a goal, I think it should be cancelled.
Yeah. And that's
So
what it should
of all
have
the
been.
reasons given, I think that's the strongest one.
Yep.
For me, though. For other people, they might go, oh no, the ball was over the line. That one, as we said, is maybe inconclusive.
Sure.
The foul one, debatable.
Yeah.
But if it touches his arm and VAR can see, and as I said, I don't think they checked for that. They checked for 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember seeing a handball check. But if it actually touches his hand, I think they can cancel it. So that's why I say the goal will remain a controversial goal.
Yeah.
People will keep talking about it.
And then the fourth one, which is probably also inconclusive, is the offside.
Yeah, the offside. That's the one that confuses me.
Nobody really knows how to interpret that one. Which it also seems like that was the VAR team
because
as well.
even the offside is not when Joe Linton gets the ball, is when Anthony Gordon plays the ball. Because Joe Linton cannot be offside, I believe, because Gabriel is ahead of him.
But it seemed like Joe Linton's foot was ahead of Gabriel.
I don't know.
Anyway, so it's like
that's the thing.
You don't know
the goal has so much written on it.
Yeah,
it has this. There's this issue. There's this issue. There's this issue. But it was given.
I'm sure it on further analysis is gonna, people are gonna come back and be like, okay, yeah, that should not have been a goal.
To be honest,
but anyway,
if it wasn't given. I wouldn't be here arguing for it.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
And I guess that's one of the ways that
Yeah. So if it wasn't given and it was cancelled, you wouldn't hear me say, oh no, that must have been, that should have. No, I wouldn't, because as you said, if it touches the guy's arm, I think that, hey bro, let's take it off. So you look at the game between Spurs and Liverpool.
Yeah.
David Luiz. Luis Diaz's goal.
Diaz,
that was taken off. So does Arsenal now go, we want to listen to the VAR audio? What do you think you guys should do?
I think...
Now, I know the game has happened.
The game has happened.
But do you guys want to hear what the VAR guys were saying? Like, do you expect the PGMOL to release that?
So I read in a bunch of places that there was some... what's the word to use here? Like proof or whatever, like evidence of what they said. I feel like this is one of those where it should have been decided in the match. With the Liverpool game. I think that was more of a communication error with the VAR refs and the on-field refs. And I think that's a different situation. This was more about the decision rather than the communication between them.
But it felt like in the end, the VAR guys just stuck with what the on-field ref.
Yeah, and that's what I didn't understand. So what were they looking for if they just
I think they were trying to see if there were clear reasons why the goal shouldn't stand.
And okay, yeah.
And it seems like according to them, they didn't find any.
Yeah,
so they left it that way.
Yeah.
But moving on though, quick question. Sometime in the first half, I believe.
Yes.
Kai Havertz.
Yes.
Jumps into a tackle.
Yes.
Was he a lucky boy to not have seen red?
Yes, but also I saw a bunch of those things happen to Arsenal a couple of weeks ago. I'm not complaining. Whoever that was, I think it was Longstaff. It was
Longstaff.
He was on his feet in 2 seconds. Whatever. We move on.
Not in 2 seconds though, but he was on his feet.
He got a yellow card too for.
Yeah, so that's the funny thing.
That was one of the funny moments. Actually, I actually laughed about that.
4 yellow cards were given because of all the chaos, and 3 were Newcastle players.
I had a good laugh about that.
That was a mess.
That was box office there.
That was a mess, bro.
I'm watching that going, this is hilarious.
It was just the only Arsenal player who got a card was Kai, who did the tackle. And I'm like, what?
Because I think it showed you. I think that kind of gave the game a little bit of life. It got a little bit more.
The game was
physical.
already feisty.
Yeah, it was feisty.
And that's one of my one of the things that surprised me was it was not a derby.
No.
It's not a London derby.
Yeah.
It's not even Arsenal Tottenham.
Yeah.
But it felt like there was bad blood between the teams.
Yeah, and I don't know where that's from, to be honest with you, because I think
It was so feisty, bro.
I think Arsenal, and maybe this is not true, but I think Arsenal see Newcastle as a worthy rival. I see Newcastle as a worthy rival, at least, you know. And so you want to go toe to toe with those kind of rivals,
Bro, it
you know.
was
So
physically,
and
it was
and you
toe-to-toe.
did, yeah. And so
toe-to-toe.
it's like I loved like some of like Saliba's different things he did. I think he
He
basically
had a good game.
pocketed
He had a very
what's
good
his
game.
name? Callum Wilson.
Saliba
you know?
had a really good game.
Yeah.
A really good game. But
Yeah.
for me, Kai,
Yeah.
to be honest, I think if the ref had given him a red card, I would not be against it.
Oh, sure. I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, yo.
Because number one,
when I saw that, I was like,
yes.
dude.
Number one of the ways you know that was a big problem was everybody on the field ran there. So you could see it was clear that he flew into that tackle. Longstaff was lucky enough that the studs didn't catch him because that's actually injury tackle.
Yeah.
In the sense that if he caught Longstaff could have injured himself.
I agree. But there were similar things that happened to Arsenal last week, the week before. I forgot.
That's the game against City.
Yeah.
Kovacic.
And so I'm like,
We
And
spoke
so I'm
about
like,
that.
screw it. I don't care.
So are you doing, because this happened to us at this time, then it should happen to these other guys? Is that your point?
Yes, basically. Because I'm like,
come on.
Like,
lucky boy, bro.
He is a lucky boy.
I think so.
I say that.
I think he's a very lucky boy.
Lucky boy. when that happened, I was
because he was smiling. He was so happy he got only a yellow card. The guy was smiling.
Hey, but as we're talking, well, first of all, let me say this. When he did that, I was like, yo, don't do that again.
Bro, that's
because I was like,
Now, one of the things you notice is even after the tackle, so when he goes past Longstaff with his studs and his trailing leg catches him, he goes some meters away to show you the amount of power which he flew with.
Yeah, I will say this though, his tackle wasn't as bad as Kovacic's was in the City Arsenal game. So like,
bro,
I'm saying
if he had caught Longstaff, it was way worse than Kovacic.
Yeah, but Longstaff was okay. He was up in a few minutes.
True. Well, he got a yellow card.
Yeah, that's fine.
For being tackled, I guess. Well, he got a yellow card. Gordon got a yellow card.
Yeah.
I think Fabian, was he sure? One of that person got a yellow card, all for speaking and all of that.
Yeah.
But this whole issue with refs just giving yellow card when you say something they don't like. So I'm like,
I thought it was funny. I think it was more just the series of events that happened, that whole thing.
Yeah, another one was Bruno Guimaraes on Jorginho, the arm on the head.
That I think some people say this, and I think I agree. Like he was a lucky boy to stay on for the whole 90 minutes.
Because I felt like he was running past Jorginho, but he leaves.
He
leaves his arm on his head,
and that's you got to punish that, you know. But again, VR looked at it and they're like, yeah.
Well, the thing is, I think it's a yellow card offense.
It is.
But VAR do not get involved with yellow card offenses.
Fair.
So I believe that's why they decided
they're probably looking for a red card.
Yes.
If they didn't see a red card, they're like,
they just leave it.
You didn't do yellow. Okay,
so it's
fair.
the referee's decision to hand out a yellow card or not.
Fair.
But I felt like that was something that was on the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so why are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
well, there's a whole, I guess, I don't know if I should say this or not, but I think Jorginho is Brazilian, part Brazilian or something. I think
I think he is Brazilian, but he plays for the Italian.
But he plays for Italy.
He's playing most of the time in Italy.
I don't know if there's some sort of
I don't know
tension there, but you could tell it was specifically the Brazilian players that had, you know.
So did Joelinton do anything to Jorginho?
I think so. I can't remember, but Guimaraes for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
I
but
think there was
Guimaraes,
one other time Gimenez actually shouldered him down and told him, get up.
yeah.
But I
So,
think a few minutes later, they shook hands and all. So,
well, they shake hands every time.
yeah, I can't
All of
speak
them
into
after.
the.
Yeah, so I don't
on
know.
this contest, I
But
can't speak into
we do know that Jorginho has Brazilian.
Yeah, he has some.
You
He has
know,
Brazilian
he's
descent.
yeah. And
Definitely.
so anyway,
It's like Diego Costa. He also
like
has
Diego
Brazilian-
Costa,
He
yeah.
has Brazilian descent, but he
Yep.
plays for Spain.
But I don't know. But I
Yeah.
feel like that may have something to do with it. But no, I wanted to say Kai Havertz though. His performances are slowly getting better. I did not want to see him in that role though. I think for that match, Fabio Vieira deserved
To start.
to start. He's a creative player. He
Yeah,
would.
so do you feel like you guys didn't have enough creativity?
I don't think so because we didn't have Jesus. I think a
And
lot of the
Odegaard.
creativity comes from Jesus, Odegaard. I mean, it comes from the team playing
Yeah.
in a certain way. But when you talk about that certain, there are those certain players that kind of like ignite that. You know, Odegaard's one of them. Jesus is another one of them. Both those players were out, and so for me, I would have loved to see Fabio Vieira, maybe Leandro Trossard, like those.
Trossard came on in the second half.
He came on, but I felt like it was too late at that point. I mean, at that point, Newcastle pretty much had their backs towards the wall. They were parking the bus, and they did a great job at it. We tried, but it just didn't work. And also, shout out to Tomiyasu for kind of playing that sort of left back coming into midfield role that Zinchenko plays. And I thought he did that pretty decent. I was like, it was good to see somebody else take that role on, you know?
It wasn't a game with too many chances, but it was a game you couldn't take your eyes off.
Yeah, and those are good games.
Yeah, it wasn't like a game with five shots on target for each team, but you just couldn't take your eyes off the game because it was so much passion, so much enthusiasm. Like it was so feisty. It was like a battle. Yeah, everybody they were throwing in tackles and all, but good game.
It was a good game
for the neutral. Good game.
Yeah,
for the Arsenal folks, not so good.
Not so good in terms of the result, but good in terms of some of the positives that we can take away from it.
Yeah, cool.
It's good for us to get the loss out of the way now, like that because that pressure piles up, and that pressure is way more on Spurs right now.
Well, you guys lost your flowers before Spurs.
It's okay.
So that's fine.
Spurs might lose it to their former manager, and that's gonna hurt.
Well,
a lot. So let's see if that happens.
We'll talk about Chelsea next week. Because by then, Chelsea would have played Spurs and City. So let's just park that to the side for now. But still speaking about decisions by match refs and all.
Yep.
Sheffield United hosted Wolves.
Yes.
And in the 96th minute, I guess, what's the guy's name? Rob Jones or something like that? Gives a penalty to Sheffield United.
Yep.
Do you think that was a penalty? Did you see it first of all?
I did see it.
Do you think
it seemed soft, man. It just like I don't know. And also I forget the analysis, but like they talked a lot about the player who was fouled, like how it seemed like he had kind of like made some mistake himself. And so as he was fouled, like it wasn't entirely Fabio Silva's fault. So, which I mean, a lot of penalties don't happen because, you know, you mean for them. It just so happens that it happens, you know. So, but at the end of the day, it did seem really soft. It seemed really, really soft. But I don't know.
Two things. When the guy is tackled, he actually gets up immediately to continue playing.
Okay.
Second thing, VAR look at it and still think it was a penalty. So I've had a few people or many people say, oh, it was a soft penalty. I still don't know if our own definition of soft and that of the officials is the same.
Well,
this season, let's even look at Wolves. I feel like this is like the third penalty decision that has gone against them.
They've had a few,
That is very debatable.
Yeah.
I think they had one in the Luton game. Supposed handball which got off someone's knee or something like that.
Yep.
Against Newcastle, they had another one.
Yep. They've had a few.
It was very debatable.
They've had a few.
And now against Sheffield.
Yep.
So it's funny. Because Wolves are the team who gave Luton their first point and now have given Sheffield their first win.
Yeah.
But in those two games, there were penalty decisions against Wolves.
Yeah.
That was very debatable.
Yeah.
Just very debatable.
Well, it's okay. Both those teams are at the bottom with Burnley. So, I mean.
But I kind of felt bad for Fabio Silva because he
was in tears. The poor kid. Yeah. He was in tears.
It's so sad.
Yeah. I mean, it's you could tell that he felt, that was harsh, and
Well, not just that was harsh. I think for him to be in tears, he felt like the team not getting any points was his fault.
Yeah, he takes that on himself. And I mean he shouldn't put that much pressure on himself. But at the end of the day, he cares for his team.
He cares. But the thing is,
and he's
a striker, young kid. He was bought to play games. He hasn't always been in the starting 11.
Right. And then
because before what's his name? Cunha. There was Jimenez. After Jimenez, there was Diego Costa. So it felt like he was never the starting striker for the big games. So when he comes on last 20 minutes, last 15 minutes, whatever. And I don't think he actually started that game.
Okay.
But for him to end the game that way, I just feel sad for him. I feel really sad for Fabio Silva.
Yeah.
But it's football. It's some people will be the villains, some people will be the heroes, and
sometimes football is just cruel.
It is. Because seeing him in tears, I felt really sad for him.
Yeah, man. I saw that too. I was just like, oh.
I think Cunha was trying to console him and all, but young boy.
Yeah.
But it's the pressure you play under as a Premier League footballer.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah.
But I hope they can pick themselves back up.
I think they will.
By them, I mean Wolves.
Yeah.
I think Gary O'Neill is actually doing a good job.
Yeah.
But sad.
It is sad, yeah. And it's I think just to sum up like some of those, matches and things, like it's seems like more and more like the VAR show. Like every other week it's like, oh, what did VAR do this week, Yeah. And it's just like we want to talk about the game, we want to talk about
there's so many officiating decisions.
Yeah. And it's just like
so many.
It's becoming, about the officiating itself. You don't want it to be that. That's not football.
Yeah.
Football isn't about the officiating. It's about the goals. It's about the passes. It's about the chances. It's about the players, the skills, all those things.
I actually heard there was one of the officials that was relegated to the championship for this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, I think maybe he made a wrong call, and so
for
the week he got to go to the championship. I might be wrong, but I think I had something like that. About another game.
Okay.
Fulham against Manchester United.
Okay.
Cottage.
Okay.
There was a VAR decision for McTominay's goal in the first half that was cancelled.
Okay.
That is fine. But I think the big news was Marcus Rashford out of the starting 11.
Oh, yeah.
Not just out of the starting 11, out of the matchday squad.
Yes.
Now, we were told that he failed a fitness test that morning, something like that. But many people still think that, there was the story of him going for a party and all of that.
It was his birthday.
It was?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was his birthday. And so I heard about this as well. Now, I didn't know the chain of events, like he was out of the squad and everything, or not in the matchday squad. However, it's the guy's birthday, man. And like I get, the Alex Ferguson era and like, if you lose a derby or whatever, you don't go anywhere, and like you got Gary Neville saying like, bro, just enjoy like a glass of wine at home. Man, times have changed. It's the boy's birthday. He has a right to enjoy his birthday.
Are you sure it was his birthday? Because I didn't.
That's what I heard.
Okay, I don't know.
Was it his birthday?
I have no idea if it was his birthday. I have no idea.
That's what I heard. Okay. That he was
I'm not saying you were wrong. I'm just saying most of the places where I had people speak about the whole party thing, it wasn't like, oh, and Rashford had his birthday party. It was,
because none of those people care.
Out for a party.
All those people are like, you shouldn't go. We often say this, right? And I mean this at this point. Like, some things are bigger than football. This is his birthday.
No doubt.
Sure, they lost the City. they're having like the not
the
so
best
great
season.
season at the moment.
Even he's not having his best
He's
season.
even
also.
but like he has a right to enjoy his birthday. What should he do? Be sad that he's born? No, like he needs to. Like it's ridiculous. Seriously, it's ridiculous, right? Like let him enjoy his birthday. Happy birthday to you, Rashford. Man, it wasn't his birthday. He went for a party. Well, not so happy birthday to you. Whose birthday was it then? It was just a party.
Okay, so when is
I
that?
heard it on the Gary. Sorry, I have to say this. I heard it on the Gary Neville podcast that it was his birthday. That's what they said.
You listen to Gary?
Maybe that's my problem. I'm listening to Gary Neville a little too much. Look it up. When was his birthday? Look it up right now. When was his birthday?
What a time to be alive! Oh gosh. Or maybe he postponed the party.
Maybe.
Wait, because this is first week of November. When was the City United game? That was last Sunday.
Yes. Anyway.
Oh, so maybe he went for the birthday during the week.
Yeah.
Wait, is it 31st or 29th? Which one is it? What? The game was 29th and the birthday was 31st.
Yeah.
So you have a point.
Anyway,
his birthday was 2 days after the game.
That's what I heard. Anyway, the thing is, there's people saying like it's not good for optics. I'm like, what's not good for optics? Birthdays?
I don't know.
I don't get this. Anyway, but we're not in that era anymore. We're not at those times where like we lost a match, everybody needs to mourn for 3 days and then show up and like, play the rest of it. Like we're not in those eras now. Like the game's a little bit different. Players, you shake it off, you come back, you fight for the next match and the next match and the next match. Sure, I just hate this mentality of like every time you're going for a match, you're going for war, basically. Like I don't.
It doesn't
like
even
that.
feel like it anymore. So it used to feel like that before now.
Yeah, it used to.
So like I remember Mourinho at Chelsea or Mourinho was Inter Milan.
Yeah.
That won that treble.
Yeah,
those guys they were more like soldiers than players.
Sure.
I don't feel that anymore.
No, and that's okay. Like it's okay that that's not the case.
I don't feel that anymore.
I feel like in some ways the game has gotten better because of that. Like it's gotten more technical in some ways. I don't know.
That's a discussion for
that's my anyway.
But moving on the other side of Manchester, City.
Oh man, was it 6-1?
6-1. But I think somebody who's having so much fun, Jeremy Doku.
Yeah, man. Shout out. Four assists
and a goal.
And a goal. 4 assists and a goal. I remember seeing him in the World Cup a little bit, and I was like, this guy's good, man. He's good. And sure enough, City signed him. You know,
is that good news for Grealish?
Maybe not so much, but it'll push him.
Yeah,
I think I like seeing him in that position more than Grealish. I think Grealish maybe slows the tempo down a little bit, whereas he really picks it up.
To take people on.
He takes people on. Like he's quick, he's fast. His passing decisions are fast. If you notice, like he's very quick, like left, right, and then he just.
I think he has a good goal celebration.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. It's like it was good. It was good, and he's having fun. He's playing for one of the best clubs in the world
with a great manager,
one of the best managers in the world. Like man,
we hope the next time they're in the UAE, we get to see them. That'd be really nice.
Yeah, enjoy it, man.
So I think let's keep a pause there on the Premier League.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about other stuff that's happened during the week. Sandro Tonali.
Yes.
His ban confirmed 10 months.
Yeah.
How sad is that? Newcastle have just gotten this guy this season from AC Milan. The season is not even halfway gone.
Yeah.
And they cannot use him for 10 months.
Yeah, I mean it's sad. I mean I don't know what else to say except that it's sad. You know, like I mean it's not ideal at all. I think there just needs to be maybe clear guidelines for players and clear information for them of like, hey, this stuff is not basically what we want you to engage in. If you're, a professional football player, just don't bet on yourself or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. Man,
You know what I mean?
there's been a lot of talk of, oh, it's a sickness or it's an addiction or it's this, it's that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely gambling in itself is, like something that's like
Mm.
quite discussed in the mental health
Mm-hmm.
area.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're right. Like some people, it can be an addicting thing where it's like, oh, you've tried it once, you're like, oh, okay, I want to do it more. I
Mm.
remember somebody like back in school, like it was just like somebody had was a United fan and they bet on United to win
Mm.
and United lost, so he lost that money. So
Ooh.
then at the next game he bet again to get that money back, and then he lost that again.
Oh.
So,
Oh, bro, no.
and so like
Uh,
it's just like this kind of thing. Like you kind of like start to have this like thing of like I want to achieve something or
mm,
do something,
mm,
but man, y'all are football players. Like you're playing at some of the highest levels, some of the
mm,
best clubs.
mm.
Um, Maybe there's different reasons why players get into it,
I have no
you
idea.
know.
I have no
But I
idea.
think if it's a sickness, then it comes down to just mental health and making sure players are taken care of and
I hope so. I hope he
they
gets some maybe counseling, guidance,
counseling guidance.
treatment,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah. But and that's what I mean by information, because like if players aren't educated about that, if
Mm-hmm.
they don't know the consequences of those kind of things,
Mm-hmm.
um then you can't blame them for entering into it. I mean, I don't know all the consequences that exist.
Mm-hmm.
Like we know Tony's like not gonna be able to play until January or something.
Ivan Tony.
Ivan Tony,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
from Brentford. And so Tonali's got this situation. We got Pogba. We still don't know what the final decision is.
Yeah.
And
Pogba's,
so
yeah. There's so many bands in
there's
it.
so many bands. It's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for me, I just it's at the end of the day, it's sad.
Mm.
I think what I would hope to see is just more education for players in terms of that area,
Yeah.
and also just making them more aware of like, hey, this is not something you need to be in. Do
Mm.
not be in this. And I think if players are aware of what the consequences are beforehand,
Mm.
they would probably avoid it more.
I hope so.
I know, like they
I hope
also
so.
kind of find workarounds, and that's a whole other thing as
I
well.
hope
But
so. I really hope so.
and maybe just like checking in on players to make sure like
Yes.
they're not
I hope so.
engaging in that sort of stuff.
I hope so.
Just like they do, all the doping tests and
Yeah.
everything.
I
And
hope so. Really hope
yeah,
so.
anyway, that's
Because
my take.
Tonali, young player,
Yeah,
he should be playing. He should be on the field.
absolutely.
He
Yeah,
should be running around, kicking the ball,
yeah,
doing his thing,
yeah,
not missing training and stuff.
yeah.
So to have this,
Not good for your
it's
career.
a dent in his career.
Because the
Now,
football
he,
career is short.
yeah, he could definitely come back and he could still prove to the world that he's
Sure.
a great player.
Yeah.
But to miss 10 months of football, it's a long time.
Yeah.
And it's not that you have an ACL or something. You're fit. So imagine him sitting on his couch watching his guys play against Arsenal. You want to be there.
Sure. Yeah.
You want to be in that game. You see how feisty it is. You see the battle on the field.
Yeah.
And you miss it as a
Yeah.
player. You definitely miss
And you
it.
wonder, like, hey, I could have made a difference.
Something like that.
So,
Something like that. So right now, you're thinking, am I disappointing my teammates because I could have been there? Giving the coach another option. Maybe you could have played more midfielders with me being there. But
yeah.
that's by the way. But speaking of another band,
Yes.
Luis Rubiales.
Mm.
I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yes.
Maybe I'm good with French and not good with Spanish. Well, I might have pronounced it well. You never know. So Rubiales.
I was about to make such a bad joke, but anyway, keep going.
Thank God you didn't. Thank God you did not. Ooh. So we found out during the week he
Yes.
got from FIFA a 3-year ban.
Yes.
And you remember the issue.
Yes.
It was kissing Jenny Hermoso during the trophy presentation.
Yeah, and the medals and everything.
When Spain won the FIFA Women's World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's a harsh decision?
Man.
It's 3 years. He was the Spanish Football Federation something president. But I think he there was so much pressure on him.
Yes.
He stepped down for a while.
Yes.
FIFA gave like some provisional ban thingy, but now it's been confirmed
Yes.
that he's banned for 3 years.
Yes. I think the fallout or the events right after that incident made everything worse.
I
That
see.
because that situation happened.
Yeah.
It's all on camera.
Yeah.
You've seen it. It's a weird one, honestly. It's a really weird one. When you look at it, all happens like what and okay, whatever. Like it would be easily ignored. And if people if both those people came out and just said, yeah, that situation happened, sorry about that or whatever. Like I don't even know if they need. I don't know, but like you just kind of like acknowledge it. You acknowledge that shouldn't have happened, and you move on. But then there's all this nonsense from both the player and I think Rubiales.
Yeah.
Rubiales was doubling down and being like, "Oh, like
I did nothing wrong.
Yeah, two people can't enjoy some or whatever he was trying to say. I don't even know what he was trying to say, but he's like,
by not first, he didn't come out all apologizing. And
no,
stuff.
I don't think he still has.
Maybe I don't know if he has.
I don't know. But and then there was a whole thing where, I think at first Hermosa.
That's
Hermosa. I think at first she said like, "Oh, that was nothing," but then on an Instagram live thing or something, she said like, "Yeah, I didn't like it," and then there's the video in the bus, like it became such a mess, such a mess. Because of that, I think it's probably the right call
for him to be banned for 3 years.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Because like, I think it's poor leadership. Honestly, like you could have avoided. So you could have taken the hit and just gone. My fault. The ban could have been like 6 months. They could have still come out with some sort of a decision like that, but it could have been way less. But because of how much of like a stupid situation this became, they go, you know what, 3 years, let's just kind of like get away from this for a bit. And I don't know.
All this for one kiss.
As Dua Lipa famously said, one kiss is all it takes.
So my guy has kissed his job goodbye for 3 years.
Dude, you could go with so many jokes with this, but sadly, yes.
He's kissed it away.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, one kiss, that is what 3
kiss
years.
Of death.
Oh, man.
Like I said, you could go so many jokes with this.
Oh, that was a movie, though.
That was?
I think there was a movie called Kiss of Death.
Okay, maybe, I don't know.
Well, anyway, he's kissed it away.
Yes.
Another thing that we got to find out was the... how did they say it in French? Oh, yeah. Now I want to keep up this French standard you have to put me on now. But David de Olympique or something. So it was Marseille versus Lyon.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes, and that was scary, man.
On their way to the game.
What the heck?
Bro, it's just sad. I still don't know why stuff like that is still happening. So Fabio Grosso is in the team bus. The bus is attacked. So the glass is hit and it shatters and he gets a cut just above his eyes and he's bleeding and stuff. He has to be treated and the game is suspended. I just don't understand it. Now we understand football rivalries and all, but you don't need to do that because now that you've done that, the game didn't happen.
Yeah, the thing that everybody was looking forward to, that all the tension was building up towards.
It did not happen.
Is it like, did they do that because they didn't want the game? Like, I don't know.
I have no idea why.
Whose coach is he? Sorry, just one more time.
I think he's Lyon's coach.
Is he Lyon's coach?
Marseille is coached by Gattuso now.
Oh, okay.
I think he's Lyon's coach.
Yeah.
Because Lyon they've also not been having a very good season. So I think he's coming. But Marseille, I think Marseille is coached by Gattuso. So he's
but still, man, like it's... I think,
the pictures of the guy.
It's horrifying. It's when I saw that, I think I can't remember if you guys sent it to me or if I sent it to you, and I was just like, dude, this is horrifying. Like it's just
sad.
I was shocked.
Just sad.
Yeah. Hopefully it's okay though now.
We hope so. We really hope so. But I think things like this doesn't paint a good picture for football.
No, it doesn't. And fans should not be That's not what football's about.
Yeah, we
You
love
know?
the game, but not to this, not in this way. Let me say it that
No,
way.
yeah,
Not in this way.
absolutely.
This is not how
And
we show our love for the game.
no, absolutely not. And we know that fans can get passionate, you know?
We need
Passion,
passionate fans.
passion
we need
is
the
one
enthusiasm,
thing.
but that's not the way.
Not violence.
Yeah, that's
not
not
violence.
That is not it.
That was sad.
That is
Yeah,
not it at all.
unfortunate. But I mean, I guess just say no to violence. I guess, and
Yeah, we need to. We need
love
to.
one another, be kind to one
We need to.
another.
Please, 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 please. We don't need this.
No,
Not just that the game doesn't need this.
the world doesn't
The
need
world
this.
doesn't. We don't need
Yeah.
this. We don't need this. There's
Yeah.
so much going on. We don't want to keep focusing on things like that.
No.
But quick one, I can just chip in. Speaking about team buses and stuff, Arsenal's on the 18th.
I had a feeling you were gonna bring that up.
Now that we just started talking about this, it just crosses my
Dude,
mind.
When I heard that, I thought that was hilarious.
That is, I still don't understand how. Is it, can he blame it on the GPS?
I don't know, man.
So
All
for
I
those who don't know
know-
the story,
Yes,
can you tell
please.
us what happened?
No, you tell us because you told me the story. I didn't even know the story, so that's why.
So because I can't remember all the details, but I know the Arsenal under 18 squad
Mhm.
are supposed to play either Brighton or Bournemouth.
Can we check that really quick?
One
Can
of
we
them.
fact
I
check
can't
that?
even remember what it
Just
was.
check it in the chat.
I think, but I know they were supposed to play a game, an away game.
Yes.
So they were supposed to go to
They
that
were traveling,
stadium.
yeah.
They were traveling. But the team bus
Hold on.
ends up in the wrong place. They end up in the wrong place. Where is that?
Yes.
Oh gosh, Arsenal Football Club of London.
It was funny. Let's because it's important to know which teams it were.
Arsenal Football Club of London. How beautiful. How beautiful.
It was in our chat.
This guy's so-
Well, while we're waiting for that, I thought it was pretty funny. Because I felt like that's such a diss to the other team.
Bro.
Like you couldn't tell who you were going to play.
Bro. Oh my
I think
gosh.
that's such a bad diss, like to the other team. The other team's just like, are we chopped liver? You know what I mean? Like, you don't even show up to play.
What?
Who was it?
Britain.
Brighton?
At Britain, of the team that took wrong M25 exit.
But where did they end
Where
up?
did they? I think they ended up in another club. They were supposed to be somewhere, but they ended up somewhere else.
Bournemouth? Is Bournemouth?
Yeah.
So they were supposed to go to Bournemouth?
And they were supposed to go to Brighton. Which one?
So we were supposed to go to Brighton.
They ended up going to Bournemouth.
Yeah, that's it. I knew it was the B stuff. I knew
Yeah,
something had to
that's
do
what I
with B.
remember too, but I didn't remember exactly
So
what
maybe the
team.
guy just was, oh, what club? Where are we going? Oh, B. Okay, I know.
Yeah, Brighton, I know.
I know, but sit down. I take you. I
Wait,
take
so
you.
he was going to Brighton or he was going to
He was supposed to go to Brighton, I think, but he ends up
going
in
to
Bournemouth. So I'm assuming the guys get down like, we play
Yeah.
Bournemouth?
I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh man, that's just hilarious.
Dude, that was funny. That was
when I
pretty
saw
funny.
it, I'm like, what? Should somebody lose his job for that?
No, man. I mean, what do
Because the game didn't happen anymore.
yeah, it didn't happen. It'll probably happen at another point. I mean,
Should
I
it
feel
not
like,
it should not be like Arsenal forfeited the game?
no, why?
Should it not just be like 3-0 to the home team?
What? Why?
You guys didn't show up. You
Yeah.
had a game, you didn't show up.
Didn't
Your team
show up
was went to a
because-
different place.
the dude who was driving them probably like was listening to you and was like, oh, okay, whatever. Like going to Brighton or Bournemouth or whatever. See, I can't even decide which team it was. But regardless, it's such a bad diss to the other team because it's like we don't know who we're playing and we don't care.
Now imagine all the home fans who had come out to watch the game.
Oh, bro. Oh, man. Yeah, that's
Imagine the home fans.
painful. That's painful, actually.
Now, good thing it was not a senior team. That would have made I think someone would have lost his job definitely.
Oh,
the
for
senior
sure.
team.
Oh, for sure.
So I still think somebody might lose his job or
Could
her
be.
job.
Maybe they already have. I
Now,
don't
I know it's the under 18s, but
Still,
It's a
yeah.
scheduled fixture.
It is a scheduled fixture, yeah. And I mean, those are details you always want to make
You
sure.
should have that.
Especially,
You should know.
especially if you're driving there. Like, dang it, like, if you're driving there, you want to at least check, like, okay, where am I supposed to be taking the team? Okay. This is,
Oh,
like,
God.
you know, it's whatever.
Oh,
like,
man, that's
it's
so
funny.
sad. That is just so sad.
Brighton, and then it's like Bournemouth. Okay, I feel like this is not somebody who looked at the details or the itinerary
You just
themselves.
started driving.
They just heard oh yeah, sure, yeah, I know where we're going. I remember seeing that. They probably thought about last week. I think Arsenal played Bournemouth last week, so they probably had the same thing. Anyway,
I also played Bournemouth like 3-4 weeks ago.
oh, never mind.
What to do? That
was funny.
While we're talking about the team boss and Marcelo,
Yeah,
it
no,
just
that
crossed
was-
my mind.
Dude, when you sent that to me, I thought this is hilarious.
This is just
I
hilarious.
had
man.
no
I saw
idea.
that. I'm like, wow, this is comedy football.
That
This
is funny.
Comedy football.
That's the what the football
But
moment.
one more thing, I think
Yep.
we can round up on this is the 2034 World Cup.
Yeah, they got announced.
Right now, the sole bidder is Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So it was Australia and Saudi Arabia, but
Mhm.
Australia have pulled their bid back. So they've
Mhm.
pulled out. So the World Cup could be coming to this region again.
It could be. Yeah. Look at that.
Bro.
They
I
call
think-
it a World Cup, so I mean,
It is the World Cup, but it feels like Saudi are a country on a mission, bro.
yeah.
They've brought in many of the European stars. Neymar is there. Ronaldo is there. Mane is there.
That's right.
Frank Kessié is there. Milinkovic, Savic,
Mhm.
Laporte is there. They have so many stars. And now they want to bring the World Cup to Saudi in 2034.
Yeah.
Are we ready for another historic World Cup?
Let's see. I mean, what I'm curious is, are they gonna learn from how it went with Qatar and all that
Are you
stuff,
thinking like logistics and all of that?
logistics, just handling
Qatar
a
is
lot
a
of
smaller
the.
country than Saudi, though. So
Okay.
I was at the World Cup in Qatar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got to go. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
went, I saw one of the games live. And so Qatar is small in the sense that on the days where there were 3 games,
Mhm.
you could actually watch all 3 games.
Mm.
So you could leave the first game at the stadium at the end of that game, go to the next one, watch that one, go to the next one, watch that one.
Mhm.
That I don't think that has ever been possible in the World Cup.
Okay.
But because Qatar is not so big and most of the stadiums are not too far from each other,
Mhm.
that was very possible.
Mm.
Saudi compared to Qatar is a different ball game.
Mhm.
So I still think there's a lot they can learn from Qatar. I'm not saying they cannot.
Sure.
But I just don't know if it will still be possible to see multiple games on the same day.
Probably not. I mean, that's usually not the case in World
It's
Cups,
usually
right?
not. Yeah,
that was
usually
kind of like
not.
a unique
That was
situation.
very unique.
What I'm
very
curious is it going to be again in the winter instead of the summer?
It has to be.
You know,
It has to be. I think
probably
it has to
will
There's
be.
no two ways about it.
Another thing is, will they make it a bit easier for people in this part of the world to be able to go?
I don't know.
Kind of
That's-
because the tickets were quite expensive, like the whole thing. Well, tickets are probably always expensive. Anyway,
well, in a season,
I
like
don't know.
that, where is just default. Where the traffic is expensive.
Yeah.
So the traffic going to Qatar then was the traffic was going to Qatar then. So
Mhm.
going to Qatar wasn't very cheap. As compared to if you were going sometime else in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like a flight to Riyadh now or something is at a certain figure.
Sure.
In that time,
That'll be.
it's normal.
Yeah.
Everybody expects that. It's the World Cup. It's once in 4 years. It's an
Right.
experience.
Yeah.
Even I've been to a live World Cup game and I'm like, I'll keep talking about it for a long time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's stuff that is
It's
on
an
many
experience,
people's
yeah.
bucket lists.
Yeah.
They want to do it. You want to go to the World Cup. You want to see the World Cup and all.
Yeah.
But definitely, I know for certain
Mm.
that except Saudi are going to come up with some air-conditioned stadiums, whatever, I don't see the World Cup being played in summer. Now, even if
No,
if
yeah.
the stadiums are air-conditioned, what of the guys who will be walking outside? Like the guys who will be controlling traffic and would you give them like air conditioned garments?
I mean, that's up again. It becomes more of a logistical,
Yeah,
like it's a whole different thing to host
yeah.
a massive tournament like
It
the
is.
World Cup.
It is.
The World Cup's on the level
It
of the
is.
Olympics. I know
And
some
many people want to
people.
host. By many people, I mean many nations
Yeah,
dream to host the World Cup.
yeah, absolutely.
They dream to it.
And so yeah, let's see how they go about the logistics.
Mm.
I don't know how many stadiums they have already
They
or how
have
many.
they have some. I think they are gonna refurbish a few, but I
Okay.
think they also plan to build like 2 or 3.
Okay.
But definitely by then, you also know that the teams participating in the World Cup is going up. So by
Mm.
then, it should be 48 teams.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So definitely more hotels, more this, because every
Yeah.
team comes with its own entourage of
Right.
everything and all. So it's
Right.
maybe it was actually good that Qatar hosted it while it was still 32 and not
Yeah.
48.
Yeah.
But that's just something else we found out. So
Yeah.
the World Cup is coming to this region again.
Yeah.
Again.
Again.
And
Yeah.
really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Really, really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
If the Lord keeps us, we might be there again.
That's right. Yeah. Maybe this
Enjoy
time we'll
that
try to
feeling.
go.
Yeah. You never know. You just never know. All right, but I think that's it for now.
I think that's it. Yeah. This is a good weekend.
Long conversation, but good one.
Looking forward to, I guess, some of the Champions League games to return this week.
Yeah.
Some of the return games, basically.
Yes, the return games of match day 4 is the other way of match day 3.
Yeah.
So Newcastle will now go to Dortmund.
Yep.
PSG will now go to Milan. United will now go to Copenhagen.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's Denmark. Yes.
Yes.
Galatasaray will now visit Munich. Yeah. So yes, we are looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We hope
It'll
there
be a
will
good week.
Really, really good talking points, good games, good results.
Yeah.
I think United really need to win.
Yeah.
Really need to win because their last 2 games are Bayern and Galatasaray. And those are not easy teams to play against.
No.
So let's see how that goes. But I think the big one in the Premier League next is Chelsea City. We've decided to not speak about Chelsea today.
I do have to ask you though.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that game?
Honestly, I wish that was a game we played when Rodri was still on his suspension. That's my honest.
Rodri, really? That's the only player you're worried about?
I tell you, bro. Because now City are a well-oiled machine.
Yes.
And Rodri is a very important part of that machine.
Yes, that's true.
And we saw that in the games he missed.
True.
You can see City's losses were in that time.
True.
Now he's back. I think they're just gonna get back to themselves. They could go 16-game winning streak. That's the way they do it.
That's true.
They would just click into gear and boom.
True.
They just go, bro. So I feel like if Chelsea get a draw, I think I'll even be happy, to be honest.
Okay.
If Chelsea get a draw against City, I'll be happy. But one of the things I'm looking forward to is the fact that I think Poch, in his time at Spurs, he kind of made it hard for Pep. So Pep was not always steamrolling over his teams. Now, definitely, I think in those games, you defend a little more, hit on the counter and all of that. So let's see how it goes. But if City win, it won't be surprising to me. It will just be like another day at the office for Pep. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Just being honest. Because Chelsea's not at that level yet.
Fair.
They could even win Brentford at home. They lost 2-0 to Brentford in Stamford.
True.
They've lost at home to Forest. They've lost at home to Villa. They've lost to West Ham. Teams that Chelsea, by the prestige and the history of Roman Abramovich's time, shouldn't be losing to.
Yeah.
So why should they not lose to City?
Yeah, that's true. I think what's going for you guys though is it's a very different team and kind of a new team.
Yeah, it is.
At the
they need
moment,
time to gel, but there's not so much experience in the team also.
True, but
Except someone like Thiago Silva.
But you guys are also a little bit unpredictable. So you kind of don't know. That's kind of how it went against Arsenal, Like, didn't kind of know what to expect, know? And so I'm expecting, well, number one, I'm expecting you guys to beat Spurs. So let's see how that goes, and we'll discuss that in the next episode. But at the same time, we'll talk about also
Yeah, we'll
Chelsea
talk about it
versus.
too.
You guys are at home, right?
Yes, because
Yeah.
we're away at Spurs. And then home.
So you host City. So
Yes.
we will see how Chelsea's week goes
Let's see.
next week.
Let's see.
Yeah?
Let's see. Yes, we will.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, like and subscribe. We appreciate the love and just keep telling your friends if you have football friends, and if you like our conversations, which we hope that you do. But yeah, thanks for listening. We really appreciate it, and we will catch you guys in the next one.
Yeah. See ya.